Welcome to the Positive Pants Podcast. Mindset, motivation, and inspiration to help you find your positive pants. It's time to let go of negative thinking, understand why you do what you do, and stop the self-sabotage with your host, Fran Excel.
Welcome to the show. As always, it's Fran Excel, your resident subconscious success mentor, helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can get out of your own way and live a life that you love. If you want to stop sabotaging your own success and let go of the stress, then you are in the right place, my friend. Make sure you download your free Stressed to Success guided meditation at bit.ly/stressed to success as my little gift to you for being here. Please do subscribe, share, review. It really, really helps people that need to hear this message find us, and I so appreciate it. In the show notes, you will also find details of how you can work with me and where you can get your mitts on my meditations, products, and printables. You can also find it through the link in my bio on Instagram, which is my second favorite place to hang out. So please do come join me over there at I'm Fran Excel. Tag me in your takeaways, slide into my DMs. I am here for it. So that is the formalities over, my love. So let's jump into the content. Probably a bazillion little reasons why you aren't doing what you want to in your business or your life. Or perhaps you feel like it's just one big kahuna of a reason, right? But either way, I'm going to go through a few of the most common reasons I see. I'm going to keep it a little bit more surface level than usual here because you know all the other stuff and you'll see it coming through. But I'm going to do this in the hope that it may make you think slightly differently. And perhaps, that was a massive motorbike that just went past, perhaps even make you realize how gloriously capable you are of doing the thing that you want to. So whether you want to scale your business to a particular income level, start a business from scratch, or even just believe that you can be doing something that you actually enjoy instead of being trapped by the rat race that doesn't really suit you anymore. Yeah, there will be tons of stories your brain and your nervous system will be telling you around why it's not possible. But to start with, we're fed or brainwashed, whichever way you want to look at it, so many messages of you go to school, you get qualifications, you get a job, you work your way up, you retire, you die. That's the safe route in life, right? Often coming with struggle, be that in the form of financial or stress, whatever it may be. Yeah, but it's kind of accepted as normality that we will struggle in some way, right? And you learn to validate yourself by your job title or your salary or your bank balance, or if you own a house and where you rent, all of these things. I fell into it too, right? But I remember being 26 years old in a really successful career in media and advertising and thinking to myself, there must be more. I know I'm capable of more. I remember having this conversation with two of my girlfriends and we were like, right, let's sit down, let's brainstorm. We're going to start a business. And I was just so much more into it than they were. They kind of wanted it, but didn't want to do any work for it. And I was like, no, we're going to do this. And the truth was I'd got to a great position, was respected in my profession and by my bosses, by clients, all good. But there was a sense of just not doing anything meaningful anymore. And I'd stopped feeling that sense of achievement or purpose, right? I ticked a lot of the boxes, but it took me to my 30s and through a little anxiety-ridden existential crisis to figure it out, right? Mainly because I was telling myself so many things that weren't true, but accepting them as truth. Now we know that we do this, right? But we've got to challenge it. Plus, I didn't know anyone else who had their own business, right? None of my friends had their own businesses. And I wasn't really in a position where my friends' parents had their own businesses. It just wasn't really a thing, even though I knew it was what I wanted. And I'll talk more on that in a minute. But it felt like an impossible hill to climb in terms of even having a clue where to start. So to start with, I just started having hobbies because that was a big thing. I thought to myself, I'm 26 and I literally have zero hobbies. When somebody asked you, if you were to be asking in a job interview, what do you love doing in your spare time? It would have been drinking, going shopping, going to the cinema with my friends, going out for dinner. That would have been it. So I just started handpicking some hobbies. Just a little tip for you, just start trying things out. But the biggest message running around my head was that it's highly unlikely that you're going to love what you do. Almost like you're not supposed to. You know, the whole work to live versus live to work mentality. That was only reserved for people who've been born into wealth to actually enjoy what you're doing with your time. It wasn't for us muggles. Yeah. And then the next message was that even if you do end up doing something that you love, you'll pay for it in terms of ability to earn good money. So the only way to do what you love was to, in my mind, struggle for money. Then you're trying to balance those different levels of happiness. Which one is less painful? Would you rather have more financial freedom to do what you love in your spare time, or do what you love and not be able to do what you want in your spare time because you can't afford it? You know, and there was also this whole live for the weekend and wait for retirement mentality that's just rife through society and the corporate world, right? That was all going on for me, and it's probably going on for a lot of you. And if these are running in your noggin as truth, and we're all run by our unconscious programming 95 to 99% of the time, you can see how that's never going to change, right? But so many people have that little niggle in the back of their minds about what they'd love to do, quickly followed by all the reasons that they can't. Yeah, this is whether you already have an existing business or you want a business. Yeah, it's completely relevant for both. You may have started a business and got to this point where you're like, oh, I'd really love to do that, like speaking gigs, but I can't. Or I'd really love to do this, but I can't. You know, write a book, work for yourself, have an income you could never dream of achieving in a corporate job, to not be stressed and overwhelmed all the time, to actually have time and freedom to choose what you do with. Yeah. What is that thing for you? What is that niggle in the back of your mind? Whether you started your business or not, what's that thing that if you weren't ruled by paying the bills and your stories around all of that, or if you knew you couldn't fail, that you would love to be doing? Yeah. Now we've all got that. And I'm going to give you some of the biggest reasons so many people don't go after it. And if what I've already said isn't enough reason, yeah, one of the biggest reasons is you genuinely don't think it's possible for you. Yeah. What I'd love for you to do, either pause me or listen to me and come back to me again later when you can grab your journal and just start thinking about this to draw out those stories. So what makes you think that's true? Why not you? What makes you believe those things that come up? And whose beliefs are they really? Are they yours? Are they someone else's? Are they based on how you were brought up, or what a teacher said to you, or the strong opinion of a parent or a sibling or a really close friend? What is the reason that you believe it's possible for other people, but not you specifically? Yeah. That leads me nicely onto the next biggie. Your friends and family's opinion. Oh, this is a big one. Yeah. The number one way people often find me is through an episode I did a couple of years ago now called Why Your Friends and Family Don't Support Your Business. And I know from Google's stats and analytics, this is huge. It's so common. This is literally what people type into Google and they find me. So if you want to go deeper into this, go have a listen to that episode. But essentially, what was modeled for you growing up in terms of doing something you love and how possible that was? Yeah. You'll often find with a lot of entrepreneurs that seem to find it easier than the muggles. You may find that their parents or someone in their family ran a business, or someone they were close to ran a business. But for those that weren't modeled that, you usually have to break through a few unconscious beliefs first. And that's totally normal. It's about creating awareness around what was modeled and what was taught to you about the way things should be with regards to earning an income. What was prized by your primary caregivers? What did they value? What did their parents value? It's not about being right or wrong, good or bad. Most of us just don't really know that we can challenge these ideals for ourselves as adults because it's unconscious. But you know that now. So we get to. So next, what's modeled for you now? Are you around people who own their own businesses or are working their way towards it? It's so fundamental to have people who are working towards the same goal or have already achieved what you want. It's giving your brain and nervous system the evidence that it's possible and that it's safe. Yeah. Plus, it gives you motivation and encouragement to keep going. It's hard to just muster all that up for yourself. Yeah. And that leads me nicely onto the next reason. You just haven't had the hard and fast brain can't argue with you evidence that it's possible. And you need that. So don't underestimate the importance of it. Seek it as much as possible. Join groups, memberships, communities, read blogs, read books, go to events, all of these things. Immerse yourself in it as much as you can. And then the next thing to think about is your own self-esteem and the stories that you tell yourself, your nervous system stories about what are these things? Yeah. What are the stories that you are telling yourself about yourself? We touched on this already, but it's worth repeating. What are the reasons you're telling yourself you can't have it? They may be surface level reasons, right? But they could be a lot deeper than that. Self-sabotage is a biggie. There's a reason I have a job, right? Next up is that you don't know where to start. So this is the more surface level reason, but it's powerful one nonetheless, because our brain will make up that it's something internally wrong and fundamentally flawed within us. But actually the reality is we just don't know the next step. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to take in and a lot of different messages out there that can just leave you in this massive state of confusion. Totally understandable. Yeah. But it's about when we internalize that. Yeah. It's about finding that person that has done or is doing what you want to do and learning from them step by step. Do this, do that. And lastly, for today, you might actually just not want to do the work that's required to get the thing that you want. And guess what? That's okay. But there's a big difference between telling yourself you can't do something because there's something inherent in you that means it's not possible versus just not actually wanting to do the work, right? There's no shame or blame to be had in that. It's just truth. We all want different things and we're all willing to do different things. There's no good, bad, right, wrong, but there is a very different emotional charge from I can't do it because I'm not capable and I feel guilt and shame about the fact that I'm not capable. To I'd love that, but in all honesty, I can't be bothered. So just be honest with yourself. Really be honest with yourself. And again, don't blame or shame. There's no point. There's nothing in there that is good, bad, right, wrong. Yeah. Also check that your story about the work that's required is true. Check that there's not another way. Stay curious about the possibility that comes with how can I versus I can't. For a little example, if say, for example, I wanted to write a book, but I'm like, I don't have the time to sit down and write 80,000 words or whatever it is to write a book these days. The reality is I could just give someone my 2,000 odd word blogs to a ghostwriter and get them to write it for me. Yeah. But the reality is, so I can do it. The reality is I don't want to do it that way. Do you see what I mean? I hope you do. Hope that makes sense. But it's always going to require one or the other of time or money. Usually a bit of both. But this is one of the reasons I think it's far more sensible and easier on the noggin to start your business alongside your job and just look at your job as your venture capital investor. And I've said this a million times before, and you may find that when you have that sense of meaning, that sense of purpose, that you start to enjoy your job again. That's what happened for me. I kept my job for years as a business owner because I actually really enjoyed having both. And it was only when there were some fundamentally big changes that I was like, no, this isn't for me anymore. Yeah, you get to do that. It's no one else's bloom business, right? So now, so many of these things that we've talked about aren't fundamentally true. They aren't reality. So pick out those stories and challenge them. Reframe I can't to how can I? You'll be amazed at what comes up. So if this has made you feel even the slightest bit different about what you're capable of achieving, that makes me do a serious happy dance. And I 100% encourage you to find a ton of evidence for that lovely brain of yours that money, freedom, and time is achievable when you're working for yourself. And then what I really want you to do is go to bit.ly/Fran and Lisa, or hit the link in the show notes or in Instagram, whichever way is easiest for you. And please, please, please just join Lisa Johnson's Race to Recurring Revenue free challenge. So recurring revenue is things like courses, memberships, subscription boxes, drop shipping, ebooks, print on demand. So many options where you kind of do the work up front and then you keep making money from the knowledge that you already have in your head. Game changer. even if you don't think you have any of that yet. Trust me, you do have knowledge. I've helped enough people through this program and my own programs to know that to be absolutely true. Yeah, you'll learn ways that you don't have to trade time for money. So we'll break down some of these stories that you have. You can have the security of knowing what's coming into your bank account every month. You'll be around people who've been there, done it, and got the t-shirt, because a huge amount of us who've already done the challenge go through it every year that she does it. You'll find literally thousands of people who want what you want and are happy to brainstorm. So you'll find the evidence and the community. And I'm going to be doing some bonus episodes with some very special people for you in the next couple of weeks to show you what's really possible. I really want to give your brain as much as real, tangible evidence that it's not only possible, but possible for you. Without all the mind gremlins whispering, that's for them, not for you. You can't do that. Who do you think you are? All that fun stuff. And hopefully you will see or hear how passionate I am about people truly, truly understanding that this is an option for your life. This reality exists. Like, you can get into it and go through the challenge with the mindset of scaling your existing business past that income ceiling that you've hit. You can go into it with the mindset that you're starting a business and the recurring revenue model, and knowing what's coming through every month is what you want, because that certainty is important for you before you take the leap. Or you could go into it with the mindset of, I want to start a business, but I haven't actually got a clue where to start. And I'm just going to surround myself with some like-minded people, take on some hugely valuable information, maybe dip my toe in the water with a side hustle, generate some extra income. Just imagine if you got 50 people paying you £25 per month to soak up some of your knowledge. That's an extra £1,250 in your back pocket, right? Getting excited yet? Or you could go into it just with, I'm just curious. I want to know what this thing is. Lisa's been on the podcast a few times and has been my friend for a few years. And I'm a partner with her because I fully, fully believe in her work. And I don't recommend people lightly. I certainly don't partner with them lightly, but she is the real deal. And I wish I'd found her before I'd invested multiple 5 figures in various courses. Genuinely, just listening to this woman for 4 days is going to make a difference in your life, no matter what you choose to do with that information. So I'm living proof of what's possible, going from a negative, anxiety-ridden, sleep-deprived mess with zero self-esteem to someone who's had almost 250,000 downloads of a podcast teaching people how to change their business and their lives, to creating a successful business that I love, in the dream home, launching my signature group program, teaching people how to overcome stress and overwhelm, how to not live so unconsciously, how to overcome self-sabotage and have more balance in your life, more calm, balanced, happy life, not being ruled by your emotions. I mean, that's some magic to me right there. And if I can do it, you absolutely can. You absolutely can. There's just a few pieces of the puzzle that you're missing right now. And the challenge will help you fill in some of those blanks. And so will I, because I'm absolutely going to be there in your corner every step of the way. So if you sign up through my link, which is bit.ly/Fran and Lisa, my DMs, my emails are fully open to you. I want you to see that you can do it. And one of my superpowers is seeing some money generating ideas. So I want to do that for you. I was having tons of fun brainstorming with people on my Instagram stories. So please, if you think there's nothing that you could sell, just DM me and we can have a chat about it. It's a way easier process than you think. So let's call out the elephant in the room now. The challenge will, of course, lead into her telling you about her amazing one-to-many program, which I'm a partner for. And I talked a lot about it last year, but she is not one of those people that will give you the what, but not the how. And I wouldn't recommend something for you that did, because it's a huge bugbear of mine. And I'm incredibly grateful to you for having me in your earbuds at all and letting me share my message. So I absolutely don't want you to waste your time. What I want is for you to see your potential. You can get the results just from the challenge if you take action. I just really, really want you to have this information, whatever you choose to do with it, because you absolutely can do this. You get one life, right? And I fully believe that we're supposed to live it doing something we love. So go to bit.ly/Fran and Lisa. It's free. You have absolutely nothing to lose and so much to gain. And I really, really, really can't wait to support you.
So if you got value from this and you know in your gut that now is the time to step up and start rewiring your thinking and start changing things for yourself, then book in a free discovery call so we can work out what needs to happen to get you from where you're at right now to the action taking success you know you can be. If you want my eyes and ears on your problems, then I work with people one-on-one and through my programs. You can find all the details to book in a call in the show notes, the link in my bio on Instagram and on my website, franexcel.com. So stop waiting for if and when and choose to change things now, because you 100% can. I am here to believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. And as always, I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you next week. Bye.